Ostino woke up drenched in sweat and related his night dreams to Passiona.
Wow, I hope that is not a toe vision of the future. Tell me some real tales as you promised.
It might be, but okay, some here are some actual tales. The government had a place called Granite Mountain to retreat to during the Cold War, but its location became quite well known, and although it was secure, it was also a bit antiquated. So they built a new place, its whereabouts unknown even to me, a member of the Ninja Empire. Before the new place was completed, though, there was an atomic bomb threat to Washington, D.C., and so they all rushed there. The bomb was real and was coming up the Potomac River. When it was intercepted, it was found not be defusable, and so the CIA flew it to Granite Mountain, giving everyone 30 minutes to clear out, for that is when it was set to detonate. Then they dumped it down the elevator shaft deep into the mountain, where it exploded, causing no real problems except within the depths of the mountain. I read a novel story about this. Needless to say, they were all shocked when the bomb was sent to their safe place, the only place nearby that could contain its terrible effects.
Can you tell me any more secrets?
Okay, Passiona, now about the files of things that never happened that I happened to retrieve intact. As I worked for the Ninja Empire, I rendered the details of a recent escapade into the final TOE CIA report using the highest powers of language in order to flesh out the truth in some living words that were finely dressed, and then, using the Grandmaster's pass, filed the account after all had read it into the tube of secrets of that which never happened, the one that led to the vault 20 miles down into the earth. And then I noted the maintenance stairway beside it where none had ever gone, and looked around. The master knew that I would, to see it spiral down into Neverland. So strangely compelling it was that I ventured down underground beyond all sight and sound. My last report from those days was that I had to fake my own death and then hide out for a while. I'm only 5 miles up the stairway to heaven on earth, and am posting from my cell phone. I'm carrying all sorts of documents to the surface that have never seen the light of day. Oops, I just dropped the sad story of the Kennedy brothers, but I'd noted that the Mafia hired foreign assassins to cover their tracks. And there goes the report on Area 51, which was too long to read. I'm 6 miles up now, 17 more to go. I see the throne of doom, snakes curled all around and under it.
Cripes?
That's the story, sweetie heart. You're looking good, my dear Passiona. Now that 2023 is solved, we can get back to business. And I'll tell those secret stories soon. We'll go to the time chamber to live them out.
The air is balmy and your motion is dynamic.
Passiona was so hot she had to cool off. And suddenly Passiona disappeared in a poof of vapor. For some reason, Ostino was suddenly covered head to toe with vapor, drenched with a very sweet scent.
Holy Toledo, Ostino, you make sure you keep those top secret files, documents, and whatnot secure in your grasp. I am seriously curious, so curious in fact that you simply must, just must read every word to me. I'm dying to know what you have. And I might add about Area 51, I think they should release it.
Dear Seriously Curious, right now I have a deadly container of biological germ warfare, if you are really dying to know, but I threw that away real fast. What I have is the President's book, written by past presidents and readable only by a president in office. This is the only copy of all secrets, except for what I also have, at least those that the CIA told the presidents about. I have access, since I know the president, and to all the CIA secrets as well. DIA too. The current president, I dare not reveal his name due to the TOE Quest guidelines against discussing politics, but his name starts with O, was later of Chicago, Illinois, where I lived. But that is not where I met him, only knowing him in Chicago all the more there after he arrived and rose to power as a senator. We met in Punahou, Oahu, Hawaii, at the basketball court of Punahou High School. He was on the team and I was a spectator, living between secret assignments in a tower in Punahou at one end of the rainbow that crossed over the Manoa Valley from the University of Hawaii. We kept in touch, and the rest is history. Finally, we have a president who understands the value of science, but we still cannot talk about politics on ToeQuest, so please strike this. I will only be telling relatively old secrets maybe that have no current value to our enemies, plus we know that ToeQuest is secure, being of the Ninja Empire. I can also discount many rumors that are simply not true. For example, the Chinese are not trying to conquer us by slipping sneaky ingredients into vaccines and pharmaceuticals, of which they make many. It takes a long time to get approval by the FDA, plus the last thing any business would want would be to have the bad publicity of some huge tainted pill problem. Paranoia strikes deep. Anyway, according to Nelson DeMille, one time Russia was running a charm school to train its more whitish-looking northerners to pose as Americans to infiltrate our infrastructure. They were using our Vietnam prisoners of war as instructors of all aspects of American society. They even built a model of Main Street, USA, complete with working banks, hair salons, and the whole 9 yards of a football field. Not only did the instructors subtly teach the wrong stuff of inaccurate nuances, we found out about the place and nerve-gassed most of it, retaining some Russians to become double agents that then spied on Russia for us. Meanwhile, Ostino is still drenched in the alluring fragrance of the vapor that permeated on through to his soul. He said that the inundation of the bouquet of aroma was irresistible in its redolence.
William of Ockham, known as Ockham, led a simple life, for he didn't have a wife. Imagination lights the mind to shine, cooling Venus's reasonless passion, warming Mars' fight song into compassion. Between those two orbits, the Earth is mine. Purgatory's on Venus, where sulfurs reign. Hell's found in the sun's heart, oh, hot burning pain. Of heaven's sight, no one has any idea, for it's the world's best kept secret. Earth's its name. Rascal, Trish, Michael, and the Grand Master sipped from their wine's glasses, toasting the fallen warriors, then turned the glasses over, spilling their contents, placing them upside down on the table, the red wine flowing all over like blood, it then trickling down onto the floor. Trish requested 1 minute of silence, after which everyone yet remained silent and unmoving. Rascal shifted in his chair. Has time stopped? Trish suddenly unsheathed her sword and swung it through the air, and it surely split some atoms, at least dislodging a few electrons, for there were bright sparks, and brought it down lightning fast, passing but an inch away from the master's ear, and then rested it on his shoulder, he not flinching at all.
This shall be my last command to thee, glorious master. Rise, my equal. As the 10th degree Grand Master of the Western Empire, I shall take the Eastern. I have much to learn there. You report only to Thomas Vale, as do I, on conspiracy matters. Otherwise, only to goodness.
The new 10th degree master rose, letting some seconds go by. But not another second passed, but did the master pull out his sword so quickly that Rascal could hardly follow it, and swung it toward Rascal's ear, creating a breeze as it stopped and came to rest on his shoulder.
Rise, Rascal Puff, as a 4th degree field leader, work in between toes, with also have the honor of the Butterfly and Dragon Master, larger kind of butterfly.
Butterfly honor?
Yes, 1 flap of wing change course of history.
Trish and Michael retreated into the shadows.
Attack going well. We leave some conspiracy paper about centers after copy them, so governments learn involvement. Maybe purge they themselves of traitors, and let up on toe search.
This is farewell, isn't it, Master? See you soon.
They embraced warmly, Rascal asking,
And you, my friend?
I go west, young man.
The helicopter's pilots arrived, and Rascal Puff was soon off and flying away in the craft that had been just renamed the Magic Dragon. The new base faded from view, and Rascal almost wondered, did this all really happen? And then he gazed upon his new sword sparkling, shining, and gleaming in his hands. The helicopter landed way out on a distant runway, and Rascal boarded a 767, then took one last look back and was escorted to a roomy first-class aisle seat. There were many businessmen aboard, as told by their attire, and he nodded to one across the aisle as he settled into his seat. I'm back in the real world now. Or is it not the world I wish to live in? The man across has the looks and bearing of an aging CEO of a large company, one who probably has to work day and night. He ordered tea and Rascal did the same. Rascal was about halfway through a movie of The Gladiator when he noticed a strange frequency in his headphone and quickly ripped it off. The CEO looked over, and in a flash the well-dressed fellow picked up the man sitting behind Rascal, and in an instant carried him to the emergency door, opening it and flinging the man out, almost seemingly going out himself, but in actuality grabbing the door and swinging back inside from the bounce of the hinges as well as from the backdraft of swooshing air from the plane's forward flight, landing back in his chair and lifting his teacup to his lips all in one fluid motion.
Did something just happen here?
No, nothing happened.
She gave him a quizzical look and then returned to the galley.
Good answer, old friend.
Master, I didn't recognize you in a suit and tie and with that new hairstyle.
Just traveling cloth. I once wear this to base on Halloween and everyone gets scared. I hear to it. I hear some device connect to earphone of you. I look at listen. Some kind of brain drain, but they only get what you wish for dinner served. But Rascal friend, I no think lobster serve on airplane.
The plane went on to land in LA.
Farewell again, Rascal man. Meet again someday, not soon. I'm not sure future is adventure definition.
Rascal's escorts arrived, the master nodding to them and leaving. They all sat down in the lounge across from some people reading the newspaper. The papers dropped, and there were Frederick, Brad Pitt, and Austin smiling a mile wide. They all hugged and began to tell of many great tales. They boarded a small but sleek black Ninja jet that had a missile under each wing. The obviously Hawaiian flight crew of stewards and stewardesses came aboard. The jet lifted off to the west and ascended high into the sky, higher than most planes did, much above the clouds, and then leveled off, flying into a moonless night. It was about 3 hours into the flight when the plane dropped beneath the clouds, descending rather rapidly. Everything fine, wear triple-strap seatbelt. The tow-questers looked out the windows and saw the deep black nothingness of the ocean rising up to meet them, identifiable only as dimly lit by starlight, when their sharp vision became accustomed to the blackness within and without.
There's nothing out there, no islands, no lights, nothing but water.
Rascal added, none on this side either. Hawaii would have been another 2 hours, right, Austin?
Indeed, we seem to be landing on the ocean.
Brace for landing, said the announcement.
What in the blazes of glorious ninja swords?
Security. Prove no one follow. Besides, you need couple day rest after recent war. Welcome not Hawaii.
Thanks. Prof Bat, what are you doing here?
I flew in without a plane. Come on in, have a seat, it's a long story.
It feels like home, doesn't it, Frederick, this base?
Yes, I've grown fond of these good men and women and their ways, but I suppose we have to move on to where nobody awaits us, and try to get a better handle on this true toe we've discovered, before the world boils away. We were just plain lucky on our CMBR trip. We can't just do random fiddling on the antenna anymore. We might even take ourselves out of existence thereby, but if we had a better light-bending suit,
Not know all answer of consciousness. It last frontier. DNA blueprint. Protein folding. Simple in compare. It seem human be electrochemical machine. Aware robot. Action depend but on memory, association and behavior learned. For who can will the next surprise thought that become? Good learn, then good man. But consciousness seem above, beyond all understand. Many try dissect it, confine it, reduce to other thing, but it remain intractable. I did learn non-local reality quantum mechanics a long way of study, even investigate awareness itself. that overlooked, unnoted eye, that only see contents of mind, but itself not be content of anything, for it be not object, is more like water in stream where thoughts swim. It seem we are awareness, but not too much note see in which we see, baffling magic. Now I am not body, I'm not thought, so what be I? I be not object, seem like witness that far from stage of play in mind. Hard to know. I am universal subject, I am cosmos. Consciousness might be agent which focus spread out quantum wave of existence, but I exceed quantum physic realm. All become fuzzy there, have nowhere else go, so go back to intrinsic vision of mysticism, meditation. Learn that maybe awareness be intrinsic path to ultimate info from inside, some spiritual gaseous state, and that outside reality be extrinsic path, seem at limit, for same info from out there, some frozen matter state. Very confused, so I make guess. Consciousness always associate with brain. Brain problem affect consciousness. So then figure consciousness brain higher part should be. Sorry, but must go, do work, have new job, work night and day for some time, but still teach some class. This homework do, notice consciousness, look into it, find what is.
Towards sunrise, the tow-questers were urged to come up to the landing deck for a farewell ceremony. There were some puddles up there, even though there was not a cloud in the sky. And indeed, as they'd assumed, there was nothing but ocean all around them and all the way out to the orange and circular horizon. They all noted some brand new cruiser boats on deck.
We get many new equipment now. Can we have a look at them? Sure. After ceremony over, we plan serve farewell breakfast in there.
The ninjas all stood at attention as a flag with tow 2 and tot written on it was lowered. The tow-questers were presented with the flag and were also each given a carrier-style waterproof jacket. Some words came out of a loudspeaker that, in summary, wished the tow-questers well in their tow quest, and that the long-term future of the word now rested on their shoulders. The tow-questers sat down to breakfast in the boats, watching the sun rise from the ancient falling-off edge of the world.
Waiter, you'd better tell the captain or the admiral or the commander, whatever he's called, that his boat is sinking.
I am Captain Commander Admiral, 9th degree Grand Master of the Pacific Fleet. Everything fine.
Rascal sent a fax to Austin, whose boat was only 10 feet away, saying, "Aircraft carriers don't submerge, do they?" Austin sent a fax back saying, "No, but they do now."
You run boat rest of way. Follow heading right there. Different one each of you. Bon voyage. Need you alone time with self after many crowd. Only 1,000 mile to tow place. Be well. Write postcard. Be dry with jacket. Sail forth. See you.
Thanks for your hospitality. Where's your ship going?
We submerge in day like submarine for be secure, or when not much happen. Give you surprise boat excitement as gift, plus it more secure way. I go down with ship, swim to bridge hatch. Be sure use suntan oil provide or stay canopy. Save world. Bye. So long. Fare thee well. Au revoir. Bonjour. Tout à l'heure. Nice know you. Have enjoy. Be well. Gonzville.
The tow-questers. Austin, Rascal, Brad Pitt, Frederick, and Prophet all waved goodbye and headed off together, eventually following their differing headings off into their slightly diverging directions. The ocean spray was exhilarating and cooling throughout the day, and the cruisers really moved along, throbbing with power. But at the end of the day, the tropical sun plummeted like a 10 trillion pound stone. The moon wasn't up yet, and so they were all soon enveloped by the absence of light, and thus were absorbed into the overwhelming nothingness of the darkest night that they had ever known since looking for a black cat in a coal bin in a dark basement during a power outage. Above them, fires burned the stars away. Below them, the earth turned under their feet. Within them, unworded dreams haunted their souls. Around them, night poured blackness on the waves. Still excited, their dopamine systems running wild, they strove on, each on their own course, stopping often to view the stars as they'd never ever seen them before. all was so very quiet when they paused to stargaze. Starlight stabbed the utter darkness of night, causing many new ideas to wink and form in their joined minds as sparkling thoughts lit from the universal flame, as all the while the cosmos played rhythm to their merged and singing souls.
Rascal sent out a fax, enjoying posting over the ocean. We are magic lanterns shining in the field of space.
An answer came back, from the light that never dies.
Then, we are the smile of being, the joy of the universe's creation.
And in us, the cosmos itself has come alive. It has reached consciousness from its primordial matter and energy.
The backbone of the Milky Way braces the sky.
We're on some far-out and distant spiral arm.
We have arrived. We are life from stardust.
But we live for one of eternity's heartbeats.
We owe all that we are to time, death, and the stars. Truly from the stars cometh our help. Stars are the creators of matter. This is why they shine.
The star's light is the origin of our being, the source of our matter, energy, everything.
Permanent, reassuring, unquenchable. It's our speechless soul, our self-winding mainspring.
Blake wrote, "In what far and fiery depths of space burnt the fire of your spirit? In what distant star was born the gleam in your eye?"
Energy and matter are interrelated. The void pulsates in an endless sequence, for a field is present throughout space immense, out of which all particles must condense, occurring where the field's extremely intense.
Atoms are energy bundles. They are knots in the fabric of space, yet matter defines the structure of space.
Again, the yin is in the yang and vice versa.
I had a theory once. Perhaps from out of nothing came the paired pluses and minuses of energy. The positive energy became matter, while the negative matter became gravity. Negative because it takes a force, positive energy, to hold objects apart which are attracted by the negative force of gravity. So when recombined, all energies still add up to nothing.
That's ingenious. So from nothing was written our account, and back to nothing we will still have to amount. But in between those two parentheses, the pluses rain on us from heaven's fount.
The stars remain for now as eternity's love lamps representing our good works and deeds, which even the fathomless night cannot quench. Perhaps one day at the end of forever, the stars too will die and grow cold when time conquers all. But as long as they live, they will shine and radiate the hues that paint the colors of our ashes, reborn again on the phoenix wings of time.
I thank the ninjas for this boating experience. I was a little worried at first. "Hear, hear," they all replied. Hey Austin, where are you from?
Zip 12,570 inches.
Wow, I'm at 12569. We're neighbors. We live next door to each other and we never even knew it.
I'll be darned, rascal. I thought I saw you once when you out were picking up your snail mail, and maybe another time when you were riding your bike really fast.
The ancient travelers of the sky, among them Orion, Leo, and Gemini, smiled down at the tow questers, who had bravely stared death in the face, those who were now in the arms of death's fair brother, sleep, calm and secure in his embrace. Other ancient travelers had probably hoped that among the many lights that danced in the sky, that some oasis in space awaited them somewhere out there, a world where flowers bloomed and fountains sprayed. Well, the sky is our father, nature our mother, and we the progeny, born from the conception of heaven on earth. A world balanced by sadness and smile, life and death, night and day, sun and flood, give and take. The earth seems rare, as many stars could not sustain us. Even in our own solar system, the other planets boil or gas away as useless wastelands. Frederick awoke before dawn, surprised at what looked like the searchlight of a large ship on the horizon. But it was the third brightest light of the sky, Venus rising, the goddess of love, passion, and compassion. Rascal lay back and looked at the conjunction of the moon with Venus. He sent out a fax, I can hear them speaking, and they each other too, for they are unusually close. Listen.
The moon, representing cold, chaste reason, said to Venus with logic cool, "Quench thy inner fire, fool, lest it destroy us and all the heavens along with it."
Venus, a passionate lady, answered, "I only know what I feel, not why, so I must be the one to rule."
"Don't confuse me with feelings," said the moon.
"And don't you confuse me with facts," said Venus.
"I guess we can't always understand each other," the moon finally admitted after a long pause, having reasoned it out. "You have feelings that I could never understand. I have reasons that you could never feel. Let us try our best to temper each other, and then let's take it from there."
"Otherwise some of your decisions would be heartless," said Venus.
"And sometimes your actions will be illogical," answered the moon.
"But I'll still do what I feel is right," said Venus. "And sometimes you can tell me why, although it may not always matter."
"Okay," said the moon. "We'll try to work together. Peace to you. Perhaps I am beginning to understand this thing called feeling. Perhaps emotions do play a large role in the making of decisions."
Venus's fiery lover, the sun, soon rose ever nearer to her, while the tow questers down below brought out some eggs, bacon, and sausage from their fridges, and had breakfast, their vigor renewed. Life's a continual cosmic energy dance from some ultimate underlying happenstance. We're immersed in matter's universal rhythm, therefore we must all participate in the dance. The quest continuing ever onward toward everything that ever was and may be. Purest moonlight fell into the wrong hand, as evil swirled round, a drifting black sand that drank the silvery beam from the cup, till the moon shone no more across the land. So the primrose drank not of the moon's well, until the sun, rising from earthly hell, exposed evil, outshone it, and sent it to caves and under rocks where shadows dwell. The tow questers were out in the Pacific somewhere, on the last leg of their journey. The second day's caress of twilight unto the night was somewhat more somber for them, for they reviewed the CMBR trip's intercepted prophecy of the most probable future, a tale encrypted in biblical language entitled, "The asphodel sustains the dis-dwellers where they rest beyond that fatal river. There the wretched shades drink forgetfulness, and to oblivion sink without distress. Fireweed grows from hell's sulphurous embers, as does purple loosestrife, dead men's fingers. But wildflower air revives the dead, and then those happy souls can thrive on earth again." Karen was withered, wan, and skeletal, although eternally grateful for his immortal life and steady job of ferrying the dead across the river Styx in their transition from life to death. As Earth was the only planet he'd come across with such promising higher life forms, he had become rather fond of its inhabitants, even though he saw only the worst of them. But even from that, he could extrapolate to the qualities of the best. Karen did his job well professionally, although it was ever so dreary with the darkness of wasted lives and the grim and gloomy skies, for his surroundings always had that same gray and leaden look and feel. He ferried on, though, for his life was precious to him. The yachting tow questers cheerfully sighted land on the morning of the third day, a string of 8 large islands, among hundreds of little ones strewn about. They were once called the Sandwich Islands, and had been populated long ago by wind, wave, and wings. Rascal's heading took him past the largest and still growing island, called the Big Isle, passing to the north of it. This island being the largest mountain on Earth as measured from the ocean floor. He noted the 2 gargantuan but ever-gentle volcanoes called Mauna Loa and Kilauea, and swept on past 6 more islands. Propat's route took him to the surfer's paradise on the venerated north shore of the most populated island that was known as the Gathering Place. The waves there were of the most fearsome intensity ever to break across a coral reef. He roared ashore on one of the larger swells and was quickly surrounded by well-tanned, 3-looped string bikini girls. He got out and kissed the sand. Frederick's course took him south around the Big Island and onward past 4 more, during which he noted the whales frolicking and spawning and making large waves. He landed on the 6th island, next to an extinct volcano whose profile was well known. Therein lay the home of Pele, the fire god, his tears left behind as diamonds in the crater. Austin's path curved around in between the first 5 islands. Graybeard passed a large bay on the 6th, noting a memorial in which 1,500 sailors lay entombed.
What was that gigantic monolithic volcanic wonder that I passed as first land?
That was Hawaii. We all passed it.
Guess we're really not going to Hawaii.
Rascal, you may still go to Hawaii. The state of Hawaii is an archipelago of 8 main islands, the largest of which is called Hawaii, on which many live near the ocean, about the volcano's bases, but it's not highly populated. It, like the main island, Oahu, is a county of Hawaii, as are the others. Kahulawe, once a military bombing range, Lanai, a large Dole pineapple plantation, Maui, another up-and-coming tourist paradise, home of the Halakala volcano, Molokai, once a leper colony, Oahu, what people think of as Hawaii, Kauai, a quiet honeymoon retreat where South Pacific was filmed in the 50s, and finally, Niihau, a privately owned and forbidden mystery island that has been closed to outsiders for centuries, also known as the Forgotten Island, and it is even frequently omitted on tourist maps.
I'm destined for Niihau.
Good luck getting in there.
Profat carried on with the girls for quite a while, one of whom took him aside into some bushes and gave him many kisses, she saying,
"Don't waste your kisses on the sand," and then noted, "I must double check. What is your name?"
I am, Hubba Bubba, that was good, some kind of professor of something.
Named?
Accounting.
You are Professor Accounting?
No, I am Pat, Prophet.
Good. I read your exploits. You're my hero. Here is a map to the Tow Research Center. You'll like it. It has been greatly upgraded and renovated. Please read and destroy the map now.
Okay, got it,
said Prof Pot, as the map went up in smoke along with a cigarette.
Oh, Prof, king of intertwined strings that I adore, kiss me a few goodbyes. For now, I shall see you again.
Here's a copy of my new book, A Farewell to Arms. It's all about future warfare being conducted only by robots.
Prof, my love, give me your arms already.
Prof Pat kissed her about 1,000 times and then floated off on his opiate endorphins to rent a Suzuki motorcycle at a roadside hut, after quaffing a few liquid tropical refreshments. He headed south through the very center of the island, towards the misty Koolau mountain range. Frederick came ashore at Waikiki Beach, an Egyptian lady, welcoming lady hailing him as the king of the pyramids, her actions akin to Propat's lady. He observed the tow map, burned it, gave her a copy of his new book, and had a breakfast of duck eggs, bacon, and toast at Smorgies, sitting outside with the birds that pecked all around at every fallen crumb. Frederick explored Honolulu a bit and then passed through the International Marketplace, a bazaar that was pretty much built into the trees and large plants. Frederick sat down on a bench and talked to everyone, and even to a chatty bird for a while. then rented a Bridgestone motorcycle and drove off along the Ali Y Canal and headed north towards the mysterious Manoa Valley. Austin landed on the eastern shore, rented a Honda motorcycle and headed up toward the Pali Lookout, stopping at the old swimming hole, and dove from the cliffs into the base of a waterfall. Graybeard landed near a hotel, dove into the surf, and surfaced in the hotel lagoon. He was greeted by the goddess of love and passion fruit, who looked a lot like a mermaid he'd once known in Australia. Graybeard read the map, roasted it, gave her a copy of his new book, The Joy of Underwater Creatures. Rascal, sighting Nihao, passed by some patrol boats that seemed not at all alarmed, and docked on the forbidden shore, and was soon met by a sweet and loving Hare Krishna-looking girl.
Would you like to attend our feast?
Be there lobsters?
No, just parsley and coleslaw.
No thanks.
Rascal, master of many dimensions, you're supposed to ask me for a map.
Oh, do you have a map?
Yes, this is the location of the tow center on Oahu, where you will go later if you get out of here alive. But no ha. Please memorize and burn. Follow me.
What the yin of the yang?
He walked toward a big complex of oriental structures, quickly turning around, sensing someone. 1,000 Buddhist monks were trailing 10 feet behind him.
Holy Mother of all radiance.
Hail to thee, Rascal, discoverer of 3 additional dimensions and savior of the existing 3.
Hail, master of the dark moon in the bright light of a new age.
Thank you. Welcome to the new Forbidden City. Did you see anyone behind you on your way walking in?
That was a good one, master. They almost pulled it off.
Those monks can walk on rice paper, not even making a tear or a wrinkle, and they can sense all kinds of surveillance beams. They've volunteered for our new anti-terrorism campaign. Well, fine, but here I sit, Rascal, at the edge of the Western world, in the place called the Last Resort, cleansing the messes made from mankind's evil thoughts.
It's daunting to fully understand the real toe, and close to daringly foolish to use it to fully alter a lower level of reality. Everything is intertwined.
Well, Rascal, if you see over the years that worse is coming to worse, and then to worser and worsest, then perhaps you toe fellows might bypass the CMBR antenna altogether and fiddle with the DNA matrix itself.
The room quickly filled and fluttered with varicolored butterflies of many varieties. Then length, width, and depth appeared on stage and bowed, along with the Grand Master, and then swirled and twirled on into gravity, electricity, and magnetism, and disappeared, replaced by a great radiating warmth of gleams, glints, and sparkles, perhaps representing the 7th dimension of heaven.
Thank you, sir, and each of you. I am humbled.
It is you that we thank. Travel in peace and praise be to the toe.
Rascal came out to a cheering crowd of monks and said some soft and gentle words to them, and was soon off in his boat for a short trip to Oahu, landing near the magic shores of Hanalei and renting a big Harley motorcycle. Frederick veered onto the H1 freeway, got off near Fort Shafter, and finding the jump, soared through the air and on up to the secret mountaintop tow center to analyze and discover all that was. Graybeard followed, climbing the steep path, flying the gap, and disappearing into the bulk of the great upheaval to discern the further workings of reality. Profpat mounted the gravity-impaired hill of hills, ascending ever upward on the inclination toward the peak of the Tree of Knowledge. Austin powered up the well-known path of 30 years ago, with Passiona, going home at last to where his tow research had begun. Michael energized from the skies, alighting at the summit. A few others arrived as well, their motorcycles churning the dust into a fog that only wind and radiance could disperse. Rascal Puff, the last of the Hell's Angels, then broached the breach and thundered upward and ever onward as the road rose up to meet him.
Your rooms are ready. We have all new equipment. We'll work here, on and off, as the risk of exposure is much less. Pick a home for your families or friends, all expenses paid. Feel free to roam the islands, but stay alert and employ your new skills. Hear what makes little sound. See what isn't all there. In fact, sense all emanations. The world is still very much interested in the toe. We've left Austin's Overlook as it was 30 years ago, but have added a railing around it, for we wouldn't want the ground to rise up to meet you. Also, here's a copy of my new book, From Here to Maternity, The Conception of the Universe.
Who could conceive of that?
Lady Yin and Father Yang.
And what were they doing at the time?
Meshing around with their gears, making little dots.
And where did they come from?
Mother Tao and Father Oat.
Oat is Tao backwards nobody, you can't fool me.
Reality runs backwards and forwards with us at the cusp.
I'll drink to Antimatter and Uncle Matter.
Cheers, everyone. Wine and cheese are on the table.
Let us all raise our cusps to saving the world.
That is our bond and destiny. The world needs us.
Are we nearing the end of the story?
Yes and no, but maybe. Welcome, Toe Questers, to the present day. The greatest of all quests soon begins, for we are now the butterflies at the edge of forever.